So the question is, how did you get started? And I like how you threw me under the bus on this one.
Oh, you're so welcome.
Okay, so number one, when you're just starting out, it's going to load, so you're going to log in, okay? It's going to pull from your Twitter account. I like to log in. We do a lot of setup for our clients. What you want to do is log into Twitter, open up a new tab in a browser, and then say sign up with Twitter, okay? Because that's the easiest way to log in. It works great on mobile devices and things like that. And then the next thing it's going to do is it's going to ask you to follow some of these different kinds of people. So you can follow a bunch of them. What that does is it populates your wall. Otherwise, you'd be sitting there with absolutely nothing on your wall.
It gives you stuff to look at.
Yeah, it gives you stuff to look at to start with. Then you have to set up your boards, okay?
Ooh, boards.
So you want to think, what's your industry?
Beauty.
Beauty. Oh, God.
Health and beauty.
Health and beauty. It's beautiful.
Which is a huge category on Pinterest.
It is a huge, and one of the things we didn't talk about when you said you were excited about the fact that it's women, it's predominantly women whose incomes are over $100,000 a year. So these are not women who are worried about costs of different things.
Right.
I mean, I see more Louis Vuitton bags
Oh my
or
gosh,
Ferragamo
yes.
shoes pinned than I see Payless. I mean, I'm not sure I've seen a Payless shoes.
I don't think so.
You're going to want to make boards that are relative to what you sell, okay? So for me, I have a number of different boards. I have a marketing board with the classes that we promote and things like that. I have a marketing board that has all my blog posts on it so that I can drive people to that. So once you have those kind of what you sell boards, which could be one or two depending on your industry, then you want to have related things. So I also have a board that's called Marketing Collateral, and it's named incorrectly, okay? If I was really going to name it right, I would name it Business Cards and Brochures, right? Because that's what Marketing Collateral is. Collateral is an industry term that's kind of like, oh, the hoity-toity people know that.
Convergent.
But I don't sell business card and brochure design, so I am really just saving it for myself as a design, kind of inspirational folder.
Right.
So I don't actually want people to think of me and design. Okay, and then I have inspirational quotes. So I have quotes with pictures. I will tell you I get more follows and I get more shares from those quotes with pictures. So that's one of so why don't you talk for a minute about when you're setting up your boards, because I think this is so important. Not just having business boards and how you could make those other ancillary boards that would help.
Okay, great. And one of the things we know to be true in marketing, networking, small business, yada yada, is that people will do business with people they know, like, and trust. And when you're using a medium such as Pinterest to build a community with people that you've never met before, you don't know, you need to have a common ground for them to be able to relate to you a little bit, see a little bit of your personality, and be able to make a connection with you. You don't have the benefit on Pinterest of necessarily seeing someone's face to identify whether you think they look like a kind person or not. All you have to go on is whatever their pins are. So while I have my Pinterest set up that the top half of my boards page is business related content, such as there are marketing boards, there's a networking boards, there's a local business board, there's a variety of things like that are specifically related to my business interests. Below that, and that's like the top 1/4 of my page. Below that, all of my boards below that point are of personal interest. So I have a humor board. I have a Geeks Will Inherit the Earth board because I'm a girl geek. I like geek humor. I like geek gadgets and all that stuff. So I like to pin things that my fellow geeks would appreciate. I have a holiday board for...
I have holiday
We have holiday
decorating.
boards. I have a heavenly foods I'd love to try, where I pin all the foods that I honestly could never imagine eating, but they look so good. And I have
Or technically make them. Are you kidding me?
Are you kidding me? And then I also have, for example, I have a board dedicated to all the places in the world I would love to see if I could travel, titled When I Travel the World in the Seven Seas. I have a favorite TV show. Oh, I know we're not supposed to watch TV when we're marketing people, but I have a favorite TV show, and this particular show has a huge following. It's like an underground following of people that I pin stuff to this board and they follow me and there's stuff and we build community, and eventually they see other pins that I post and they start checking out some of my business things, and sometimes that can lead to getting people to my networking events or getting people to a class that I might be teaching or an event like this, because they've identified something from my personality that they can relate to because they share a love of the same interests that I do. And I have a tendency to make my boards titled a little more on the fun side, a little less SEO correct, if you will, a little more, play on words type of thing. But I also know that people who relate strongly to my personality type and share the same interests I do are going to be searching for the same kind of terms that I'm searching
But they're
for.
at least something that they would look for. Like
Exactly.
they would look for yum once they get through all the other things.
Agreed.
They would look for doxies instead of dachshunds.
Or cute kitties, or
kitties instead of cats or something like that. So they're not oh my gosh. So like the people who type lowercase, uppercase drive me insane. I can't physically read it. It makes it very hard for me, and then I have to kind of guess what they're about.
What are they saying?
Yeah, and anytime you're making somebody guess what to do, I don't think that's good. So did that help, like, as a starter?
And I want to go back to something you said as well, because Tara did mention that she has a quotes board, and I think all pinners on Pinterest have actually a quotes board, and we all call it something different, and they're all kind of interconnected. But in speaking of building strong communities, that is one of the fastest ways to build your community, is by sharing inspirational quotes with people. And another,
So
yes?
faith. Let's talk about faith.
Okay, let's do
This
it.
is huge. On Facebook, if you're talking about Jesus and you're talking about the apostles and you're talking about Corinthians and it really doesn't resonate well with some of the people. It could be a real turnoff on it. What happens is, because the Pinterest is a little bit more segregated, you can absolutely have a board about your faith.
Absolutely.
If you're a biker and you want to have one board about biker stuff or one board about tattoos, people kind of look over all of what you have, and they can unsubscribe to your boards about whatever it is. I think that's a huge difference in Facebook and Pinterest.
Right.
Is like, if I could have my friends on Facebook and get rid of half of their political stuff in this season, I would be so happy. But Facebook's all or nothing. Pinterest, you can select different boards.
And the other thing I would add to that as well is, when you're putting things in your boards, you're creating your boards, do throw something in controversial. We all know that controversial is good marketing. So you want to throw something in that maybe is not what people are expecting exactly from you. And my example, and she's given it already, believe it or not, I actually have a tattoo board on my Pinterest. I would never in a million years, maybe in a million years, but I can't imagine myself ever physically going through the act of getting a tattoo. But I love art. I love artists. I think skin art is one of the most incredible mediums I have ever seen in my life.
There's some amazing stuff.
And I can live vicariously through my board, post all the tattoos I would never in a million years have, enjoy them, look at them whenever I feel like it, and know that other people are going to find that too. And they might find me just a little bit more interesting, because it's something they never knew I had an interest in before.
Well, because if you only meet me in person, I'm a speaker, so I always talk about marketing. I literally, if you come to my house for my Christmas party, I talk about marketing. I mean, you would literally think that I have nothing else in my life, but I do. I mean, I love to go to Vegas, so I, have a Vegas board. I like to gamble, but that's not part of something that anybody would see of me without, like, being a bestie. It's almost like you get to be besties with people and see them. There's a realtor down in Florida who had gotten me a speaking engagement at her MLS, at her multi-level, at her brokerage place. And I never knew this about her, but I went on her board, and she loved horses. And I'm like, oh, I love horses. So not only did I learn something more about her, but don't you try to find some commonality?
I do.
Like, that's kind of the whole point. Yeah, you go, oh, okay, well, Rhonda has a couple things, and because you want to follow at least a couple of their boards, so then you start to feel more like you're connected to them.
Exactly.